Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna review a books about Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull, president of Pixar Animations, and today I read chapter 3 where it talk about defining a goal, where the previous chapter already talked about how Pixar was born and how the story of Ed Catmull itself into animations and how he get really involved in this industry and specifically computations animation. So it's using uh, animation using computer to animate, and this kind of idea where Pixar is really in first company maybe, or yeah, first company who adopt the idea of animation using computer. So in today's chapter, in chapter 3, at Catmull talks about defining goals, where Pixar already born by Steve Jobs as the saver or hero that save Pixar and set it into the public company. And also there are Levy, and one person is John Lasseter, which is the animator at Pixar. So at these stages, uh, Pixar already launched Toy Story, which is make it Pixar, famous, and the movie is just blast, and that's really make um, computer computation animation is really um, eye-catching uh, industry. So at the time, in this chapter, it turns out that Ed Catmull got some trouble, which is after 5 years adopting Toy Story, they realize how the culture of creativity itself should be remake or should be set into something that make Pixar or this new industry is sustainable in the future. So at the time, one of the problems that uh, Catmull uh, find out is there are um, there are a culture in animation of animate when they were animated Toy Story, which is the artist or the creativity side is not match enough or not work properly or positively with the production team, which is the team who is really play into the detail how to fix things that really match to the budget of the project, or how it have to be delivered on the deadline. So this kind of team, which is the artist creativity and also the production team, is not have a good synergy, where there are some of the um, employees said that the production team is kind of like second class citizens in the Pixar. So this is the story, or the finding that shocked Catmull. So he said that this need to be fixed because it's kind of like threatening all of the culture of creativity itself. So at this stage, Catmull project how we could set a culture of where creativity is sustained across the company, for example in Pixar in the early of its stages. So there are one another point how um, uh, Catmull is trying to feel this culture of creativity, and at the same time how they could be produce more better um, arts. So one of the um, perspective is from Japanese kind of mindset, right? So Japanese company is really great at kind of creativity, but also production or manufacturing, given that in early stage of Pixar the business model is by sold a computer for animation. So this is kind of failed idea that not make any significant revenue for the Pixar itself. But at the time, Catmull find that there are one kind of mindset that every Japanese company like Sony or Toyota have adopted to create production number one class production in Japan in early stage of 90s or 60s, because after World War II, which is Japan is have to rebuild itself. Catmull said that the responsibility for finding and fixing problems should be assigned to every employee, from the most senior manager to the lowest person on the production line. So this is really interesting idea, because in the kind of manufacturing industry, right, everyone tend to work like robot, right? Or like you say, like robot manufacturing, artificial manufacturing, like there are no human in itself. It is not true, because manufacturing is also about the connection which every individual or every dot is really matter, right? So in this case is that's why company like Sony or Toyota is just very successful in terms of manufacturing a number one class product, a car, or also the product like electronics, etc. It because the philosophy of that everyone in production line is really important. So this is what Catmull want to bring in these chapters, where he thinks that to be able to sustain the creativity culture, you not only need to help the chain of command or structure of the company, which is because this industry is really huge, right? A lot of a lot of artists, a lot of employee involved. So you need to also keeping chain in commands, right? But in its place. But in other hands, it's really important also to make every person to be heard, to realize that his responsibility is his responsibility or his activity is recognized and appreciated, right? So that's another point. He said that which is I quote, in Deming's approach, the Toyotas to give ownership and responsibility for product quality to the people who were most involved in its creation. So this is a really important part, because a lot of us tend to be make a manager is responsible for anything, but this is not true, because everyone can be responsible. And the most important one is feel the pride that came when they help fix what was broken. This is really important, because everyone, even the lowest level of crew, even can be recognized because he find the problems and fix the problems. So they can get recognized, or get appreciation. So this is really important culture that I think really changed the mindset of creativity industry, which is really also I think adopt in many of industries like entertainment, TVs, and others industry that really foster creativity, not only in creativity industries but also like a startup company and other kind of manufacture or services industry. I think have to adopt this kind of philosophy, where the goal to sustain a creativity is not about is about also to balance every note or every individual is important and being heard. And that's all for me, and thank you.